The sky was just bruising purple before dawn when I trudged back to my ranch house, boots crunching on frost-kissed gravel. I'd been checking the solar water pump, making sure it was ready for the day's work, when I saw something that stopped me cold. A tall, white metal fence, painted with bold red letters screaming, "Property line. HOA restricted access," stretched across my front gate. Two rental construction trucks were parked sideways, blocking me in like a pinned animal. A small sign, zip-tied to the fence, flapped in the early breeze. HOA ordered closure due to noncompliance. Gate blocked until further notice. My heart pounded. I hadn't signed up for any HOA. My ranch, Dawson's Rest, sat on a private parcel, surrounded by open fields and a trickle of creeks. The nearest neighborhood, Oak Ridge Heights, was a quarter-mile away. Why were they fencing me in? I yanked out my phone and dialed the sheriff. "Sir," the deputy said, "we've had complaints from that HOA lately. They claim you're violating community standards, but they've got no legal hold over your land. Blocking your gate? That's trespassing." I asked for a unit, but he warned they were stretched thin. I hung up, fists clenched, pacing the gravel. Then I spotted Edo white SUV with the Oak Ridge Heights HOA logo parked just beyond my property line. Inside sat a woman, sipping coffee from a reusable mug, smiling like she'd just hit the jackpot. Her name was Lorraine Baxter. I'd met her once at a town hall, where she'd introduced herself as the HOA president, all charm and pearls. Now, she watched me like I was a trespasser on my own land. I marched over, boots grinding. She rolled down her window before I could speak. "Morning," she chirped, smile saccharine. "Don't worry. This is a temporary restriction for your safety while we sort things out." "Safety?" I snapped. "You fenced my land. You'll thank us later," she said, unfazed. "The board voted your fence doesn't match our guidelines, and that bear statue on your gate? Very aggressive. We've had complaints." I was floored. "This isn't your neighborhood, Lorraine. This is my ranch. Private property." She shrugged. "The road to your place overlaps our jurisdiction now. We rezoned it with the county last month. I sent a notice to your old address. You should have read the fine print in that road maintenance proposal you voted against." Before I could argue, she rolled up her window and started texting, dismissing me. I stared at the fence, my gate trapped behind it, and made a vow. I wouldn't just get free-eyed on the road she thought she controlled. This all started months ago, in the quiet of a September morning. I'd just moved back to Dawson's Rest full-time after retiring from a tech job in Seattle. The ranch was my family's legacy, built by my grandfather, passed to my father, then to me, Nathan Dawson. After 30 years in cubicles, I craved open skies, horses, a garden, maybe a fishing pond. But peace was short-lived. One day, I saw folks measuring the dirt road to my gate, spray-painting symbols on the gravel. I called out from my porch, "You lost." A guy in khakis replied, "No, sir, we're with the Oak Ridge Heights HOA, surveying for a speed bump project." I frowned. "This is a private road." He smiled. "We're working with the county to adopt this stretch. It'll fix your potholes, lower your taxes." I said I wasn't interested, but a week later, a letter arrived. Notice of road adoption proposal. It was dense with legal jargon, so I ignored it. First mistake. Then came a county paper mentioning a vote, road standards, and a buried HOA easement clause. By the time I caught on, the HOA had voted without me, claiming the road and demanding I repaint my fence, remove my gate's bear statue, and keep my dog inside after 7 p.m. I refused. Notices turned to fines, then warnings taped to my mailbox. But that morning, with my gate fenced off, it was war. The deputy, Officer Sam, arrived that afternoon, shaking his head at the fence. "Oak Ridge Heights is expanding like kudzu," he said. "You sure you didn't sign anything?" "Positive," I replied, showing him my deed. "They don't own this land, but the road's in a gray area," he admitted. The county clerk signed it over without catching the full scope. "So what can I do?" I asked. "Sue, but that's slow. Or outbid them. The road's lease renews next quarter. Offer to maintain it, and the county might give you ownership." A spark ignited. That night, I called my old friend Leo, a municipal records guru. "You want to buy the whole street?" he asked, incredulous. "Every inch from the county line to Oak Ridge," I said. "Then I'll charge them to use it." Leo whistled. "It'll take cash and strategy, but I'm in." I had savings, time, and fury. We filed papers, met county officials, and pulled strings. At the hearing, Lorraine and her board showed up with a lawyer and a litany of grievances, calling me a threat to community harmony. I just smiled when the clerk read the decision. County Road 22A transfers to Nathan Dawson, pending payment and maintenance agreement. I signed that day. A week later, Lorraine got my letter. As owner of Road 22A, all HOA vehicles must pay a monthly usage fee, effective immediately. I tripled their dues in one stroke. Lorraine didn't take it lying down. One night, I heard tires screech. I ran out with a flashlight, catching a backhoe tearing up my road sign. Dust swirled as its claw dug into the gravel, and there, arms crossed, flashlight under her chin like a cartoon villain, stood Lorraine. She wore an HOA-logoed windbreaker, flanked by 3 board members, a scrawny guy with glasses, a woman in yoga gear snapping photos, and an older man in a hard hat labeled HOA Safety Chief. They were digging a trench across my road's entrance. "What are you doing?" I yelled over the roar. "Road repairs," Lorraine shouted. HOA funded emergency measures for erosion. On my road, her smile was smug. "Your ownership's under review. We filed an injunction. Our lawyers found a clause for temporary safety alterations." I stormed to my truck, flicked on the high beams, and started filming her face, the crew, the torn-up gravel. "You're trespassing," I said into the camera. "This is my property, and this goes to the sheriff." Lorraine's crew faltered, but she waved them on. I called Sam, who arrived as the backhoe hit a water pipe, sending a geyser 10 feet high, soaking Lorraine's fancy shoes. Sam shut it down, shaking his head. "You've got no jurisdiction here," he told her. "That pipe's private, connected to Dawson's ranch. That's $10,000 in damage." Lorraine stammered. "I didn't know." Sam wasn't buying it. "You're supposed to check." I held off on charges but filed a complaint and a repair bill. The next morning, I drove to the county clerk's office with photos, video, and estimates. The clerk, a kind woman named Ellen, muttered, "This is bad. They didn't file for access. You'll own their clubhouse by the time this is over." She scheduled a damage hearing. Then I visited my neighbor Hank, a retired machinist who'd owed me since I helped fix his shed. Over coffee, he handed me a folded paper. "Proposal to form an independent property association for folks like us, outside the HOA. Need 5 landowners." My eyes lit up. By week's end, I'd rallied 4 other ranchers, all fed up with Oak Ridge's overreach. They signed, and the Free Ranchers Alliance was born. We drafted bylaws and sent the HOA a letter. All HOA vehicles on Road 22A must follow Alliance guidelines, or face fines and access suspension. They ignored it, so Lorraine filed a lawsuit, claiming my road ownership was a hostile takeover. She hired a PR team, and soon articles popped up. "Rancher traps neighbors with toll road, and is this legal?" "Landowners dictatorship." Hate mail flooded my mailbox, letters, emails, voicemails calling me selfish, dangerous, un-American. I'd gone from quiet rancher to public enemy. Then they crossed a line. I came home one afternoon to find my gate gone ripped from its hinges, posts sawed clean off. A wooden sign was nailed to a stump. "You don't own us." My dog, Rusty, barked wildly. That gate, hand-welded by my father 40 years ago with our family crest, was my history. I called Sam, pulling footage from my Barnes trail cam. At 2:14 a.m., a white pickup crept up, headlights off. 2 masked figures with chainsaws and bolt cutters dismantled my gate in 5 minutes, hauling it away like a prize. Sam watched the footage. Masked, gloved, no plates. They knew what they were doing. "HOA?" I asked. He shrugged. "No proof, but this isn't random." I filed a police report and hired a lawyer, Ethan, who'd handled my toll papers. "They want war," I said, showing him the video. "I'll give them war." Ethan nodded. "We'll subpoena HOA surveillance, employee records, financials. Let's see who they paid." I installed 10 infrared cameras, motion sensors, and a steel sliding gate with a keypad, engraving it, "Private road. Trespassers prosecuted." I rallied the Alliance at Hank's barn. 10 ranchers showed up, livid. "They fined me for my red mailbox," one said. "Told my kid to stop biking, it cluttered the road," another added. I stood tall. "We're not just defending land. We're defending freedom." They voted to boost our legal fund, and Hank set up a public page. Our story exploded blogs, Reddit, local TV. A documentary crew from American Horizons called, wanting to film an episode on my ranch, the HOA fight, and property rights. I agreed, and they arrived with drones, interviewing me, Hank, and Sam, showing the gate theft and trench footage. Lorraine declined to appear. The episode aired, and calls poured in ranchers, reporters, lawyers. A state senator invited me to testify for a bill protecting landowners from HOA takeovers. But then, late one night, my power cut out. The backup generator failed, then the water pump. I grabbed a flashlight and found two black boxes signal jammers near my power junction and pump, each with a note. Shut it down, or we'll shut you down. I snapped photos, careful not to touch them, and called Sam via my old satellite phone. Jammers with threats, I said. He cursed. I'll bring the tech team. By dawn, they collected the commercial-grade devices. Someone paid big for these, a text said. I called my PI, Greg, sending him everything. 2 hours later, he called back. Ever hear of Carl Ramsey? Private contractor, married to Lorraine Baxter. Bought 2 jammers off an auction site last week, delivered to his old shop. My blood boiled. Proof. Video of him loading crates into a white pickup, same one from your gate footage. I told Greg to send it to Ethan. The lawsuit we filed, linking Carl and the HOA to sabotage, hit like a bomb. Headline screamed, HOA president's husband tied to ranch vandalism and signal jammers found. Criminal probe launched. Lorraine denied it, claiming Carl acted alone, but the county suspended HOA activity on my road. A quiet moment came when I got a handwritten letter from Ellen Tate, a retired librarian in Oak Ridge. I'm sorry for how the HOA treated you. If they take your land, it could be any of us. Don't give up. It reminded me not everyone there was the enemy. 3 days later, Lorraine parked outside my toll sign, recording me, shouting, "This man's threatening me, blocking public property." I pointed to the sign. "This is private, Lorraine. The county, deed, and law say so." She sped off, but soon, delivery vans, Amazon, landscapers, even a bounce house rolled through, unaware it was private. I printed flyers. Notice, private toll road. Unauthorized access equals fines. I sent $75 fines for each crossing. Lorraine's cease and desist was laughed off by Ethan. Then, I came home to smoke. My barn's back corner was ablaze. I grabbed a hose, dousing it before it spread, finding a gas can nearby. A teen from Oak Ridge later sent a blurry photo of a man in a hoodie pouring liquid near the barn, fleeing in a white SUV. Ethan traced the plate to a rental under Carl's cousin. We subpoenaed GPS data and rental logs, confirming the car reeked of gas when returned. Carl was arrested, Lorraine vanished from public view, and the HOA crumbled. The court hearing was a rout. Ethan presented the jammers, gate theft, fire, and financial records showing HOA funds paid for the fence and Carl's fake landscaping firm. The judge, sharp and unyielding, ruled the Oak Ridge Heights HOA violated statutes on trespassing, interference, and fund misuse. Road 22A remains Nathan Dawson's. The Granger Creek Estates project is rejected. The HOA owes $250,000 in damages and must dissolve. We'd won. That night, my Uncle Ben, who'd worked the ranch with my dad, handed me a beer by the rebuilt barn. Think they'll try again? I sipped, staring at the stars. If they do, they'll learn how tough this road is. But the storm wasn't over. A black car pulled up days later. A suit stepped out, briefcase in hand. "Mr. Dawson, I'm with Golden Horizon Development. We'll pay triple market value for your ranch." I shook my head. "Not for sale." He opened the case, revealing plans for Dawson Creek Estates, my land carved into lots with a new HOA. "We've bought 6 neighboring parcels. You're the last holdout." I closed the case. "You're on a toll road. That's $75. He drove off, but I knew trouble was brewing. Golden Horizon was known for shady land grabs. I called Ethan. "They'll push for rezoning," he warned. "Your road and alliance are your leverage." We petitioned to block rezoning, citing my ranch's century-old heritage. Golden Horizon hosted a glitzy town hall, painting me as a greedy loner. I crashed it, mic in hand. "My great-grandfather built this land. My father died here. You don't pave my story and call it progress." The crowd clapped, and the meeting fizzled. They filed for eminent domain, but I fought back, flooding the internet with my story via Don't Pave My Past. Donations rolled in, and supporters showed up, including a Marine who stood at my gate with a flag. At the hearing, Ethan presented our deed, sabotage proof, and Golden Horizon's dirty history. The judge ruled for me, killing the project. Then, a whistleblower sent Ethan a video, Carl, in a dark room, saying, "We couldn't scare him with fences or fire, but everyone has a breaking point." A cold voice replied, "Push harder." The feds raided Golden Horizon, indicting execs for conspiracy and arson. But at 2:03 a.m., Ellen Tate knocked, trembling, with a flash drive. "Found this on my porch." It said, "Give it to Dawson or my house is next." The video showed figures on my land, whispering, "Next week, the main house. Burn it down." I called the sheriff, upgraded cameras, added floodlights, and called in Marine buddies. I found my dad's 1967 deed for a hidden back road me escape route. On the sixth night, alarms blared. Four figures hopped my fence. Ray tackled one with a fire canister. Another hit a tripwire. The sheriff nabbed the rest. They were Golden Horizon's hired thugs. At dawn, Ellen brought coffee as the sun rose. "It's over," she said. I nodded. Golden Horizon folded. Carl got 8 years. Lorraine fled. I donated land for Legacy Field, a center for kids to learn about nature and freedom. My new gate sign reads, "Welcome to Dawson Ranch, where we don't back down." They tried to fence me in. I bought the road. They tried to burn me out. I lit the way. When they came for my land, they forgot who owned the fight.